And there we are. Hello, everyone. Happy 4th of July. I hope everybody is doing well. Time went by fast. I just did my hour live stream for my hardcore members, and I had like an hour in between. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to take a half an hour power nap. So I laid down for like a half an hour, but I did go and check on my bees. I was telling them I was going to check on the bees, and everybody looks good there. Everything looks great. So anyway, happy 4th of July. I hope everybody's being safe. Nobody's doing fireworks till after 9 o'clock anyway. I know that like in New York, when the towns did it, they didn't do it till like 10 o'clock at night because you had to wait till it was good and dark. And so good time to come in, catch a live stream, and then go off to see the fireworks. Anyway, so here we are, another year down. I will never forget. Obviously, I'm old enough to remember when we turned 200 years old. And now we're 249 as a country. So it's amazing how that time has gone by. I will not see 300. If I see 300, I'm going to be one old son of a gun. So, too funny. So before we get into anything, guys, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. Please be kind to one another if you cannot. And then those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we're not going to have it. I'll tell you one of the things that I've always, Jimmy Carlson says, I remember 1776 or 1976, the bicentennial coin. The quarters that year were all the bicentennial quarters. And I probably, over the course of the years, I probably have $30 worth of bicentennial quarters. I started saving them, stick them aside, save them, stick them aside. It's like one of those things. It's like that was a pretty cool thing, I thought. So, and the bicentennial quarter was pretty neat, and you don't really see them anymore, not very often. So I'll still get one once in a while, but not very often. So I got to tell you before we get into anything, I got to tell you, I am a proud daddy today. All right, I am a very, very proud daddy, and I'm going to show you the reason why. Hold on one second. This little purr box, see how little? He's just a little baby. He's a little baby. He got his first mouse today. He did great. So obviously the reason that I wanted to get the cats. Oh, Ella, don't be jealous, my God. She's right here now. What about me? But the reason I got the cats was I wanted to be mousers and get the mice, get them out of here, get rid of them. And I'm just sitting here today and farting around on the laptop, and all of a sudden I'm like, what's he doing? Here he is, got that mouse in his mouth, and he played with it for quite a while. He needed an assist with the kill, so I did assist with the kill to make sure because he kept playing with the thing. Then he proceeded to play with the dead mouse for about 2 hours. And then he finally left him on the floor and walked away and went and laid down. And hell, it stopped down. So then I took the mouse and wrapped him up, and he got a Viking funeral in the fire pit. So very, very happy, very happy. I was honestly that being that little. But man, he was on it. He was not fooling around. And then when I tried to, the mouse was still somewhat alive. I tried to get it out of its mouth so I could finish it off, and he was growling at me. He's growling at me. So I was laughing. I was like, that is too funny. They never forget their first mouse. That cat was savoring the moment in its first kill. Well, he did a great job. He did a great job. So, really happy about that part of it. So, that was really good. You are what? I'm what? You are, oh, demented? You think this is okay? Yeah, Tilly, I think it's great. I think it's fantastic. You know why? That's their job. That's their job. The reason I've always had cats is to keep down on the vermin and everything. And I love my cats, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think it's wonderful. I was like, I'm demented or whatever. I don't care what you think. I think it's awesome because that's their job. It's just like the dogs. Their job, part of their job is protection. The cat's job is to get rid of the squirrels, the chipmunks, the mice, any birds that they can get a hold of. That's their job. Stealth mode says, yes, we have lots of cats around the homestead. They take care of all the rodents. That's right. That's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. So, when up in New York, we had nothing. Nothing. Because our cats were indoor, outdoor cats, and they took care of business. You men rule the world, and look what you have done. Oh, poor Tilly. Do you need a safe space? Maybe this is probably not the right channel for you. Maybe you need to go and have a good cry somewhere in a safe space. Did you see where 20 girls got washed away in a Texas flood that happened overnight? I didn't see that there was that many. That's terrible. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I knew that there was some flash flooding and they said that people had died. But yeah, no, that's not good. No, like I tell people all the time, like squirrels are rats with big fluffy tails. That's all squirrels are. They're very destructive. Chipmunks, same thing. They're little rats too. So, you know, if you got cats, you don't have none of those. But anyway, you can start having a mouse count in the egg count, like the egg count. Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, that they're so little still. I was really, really surprised. But anyway, Jay, do you want to take care of that, please? That child that's on there. I appreciate that. So, too funny, too funny. But anyway, we're gonna talk about yeah. Joe said 3 eggs and 1 mouse. That's funny. We'll get to the egg count later on. That's funny. But anyway, yeah. So obviously, the big beautiful bill passed, as they called it. The Democrats were crying in their soup. Of course, we're not happy at all. Oh, people. So what people are not going to have health benefits. People are maybe that's why mom won't let me get a cat. She feeds the squirrels. Oh, yeah, I don't feed the squirrels. I'll tell you what we did. You probably some of you might not like this, but we had a huge squirrel problem when I lived in Charlotte, New York. Okay, huge squirrel problem. No predators, right? So we had I fed the birds, and those freaking squirrels would get in there, and they were so destructive. So I had a pellet gun. Okay, the 177 pellets. If you ever saw them, they're different from the BBs. They're the 177 pellets. And so we had it on the fridge marked. Now, A confirmed kill, right, meant I had to shoot it. It died there. Josh went out because he was little at the time, put it in a Wegmans bag, and we wrapped it up and threw it in the garbage. So so they got smart after a while, okay? So they hear me because they'd be in the backyard, and I would crack that window open. And man, when I cracked that window open, they'd scatter, right? So what I would do is I'd wait like 2 weeks till they got all calmed down again, and then I'd crack that window open, and they would stay and get me 2 or 3 of them at a time. I had one that died up in the tree and had flipped over like this in a tree, and his tail would blow in the wind. So he was our pet squirrel. His name was Decay. But yeah, I had a confirmed kill count, I think, oh my God, 150 at least. At least. Just with a pellet gun, keeping the numbers down. Now that doesn't count the ones that dragged themselves off and died somewhere else. Those were just confirmed kills. So yeah, that was what I would do to keep the squirrel population down. And the cities are terrible. They're all over the freaking place. But yeah, so some of you may like that, some of you may not. But yeah, we had to keep count on the fridge. Like I said, Josh had to go out and he'd grab them by the tail, put them in the Wegmans bag, wrap it up, and into the garbage they went. So fun times, God. I think about all the different stuff through the years, and that one just kind of just popped into my head, and I hadn't thought about that in eons because it was so long ago. I mean, that you're talking, over 20 years ago. That there, stop. What are you doing? Stop. No, you're not going outside. You're not doing none of that. No, you're not. No, I don't care. But yeah, pellets are better because it spreads out on it as it impacts. Oh yeah, yeah. We we used to say they would be sunbathing in the yard. I said that one day that my sister-in-law was over, and I go, Michelle, look at that! Look at that squirrel sunbathing in the backyard. And she goes, where? And I go, right there. You see that squirrel back there? She goes, yeah, it's laying down belly up. So it's sunbathing. So good times. Thinking back on all that. Wow, that, like I said, that's a long, long time ago. Long time. Because we was in Greece for 8 years. No, yeah, Greece for 8 years. Charlotte for 8 years. And then the other property, the old homestead, well, it's still in the family. Heather has it now, but I was there 8 years there. So, and now I'm here. So, I had plenty of other stuff to eat. I didn't feel like eating them. You could have, but yeah, there was a lot of squirrels. I don't think at the time my wife would do that. I begged my husband for a cat when we had a mouse issue years ago, but we just sealed up the house. Now, see, cats are better. They just take care of things. My parents used to feed us squirrels. We got squirrels for pets later and never ate another one. Yeah, that happens too. But anyway, guys, I know we're off on a tangent here. Off the rails. Yeah, but my little hunter, he did good. He did real good. That's what I got him for. So yes, the pack really got the protester in the morning video. They're awesome dogs. They are awesome dogs. And I knew exactly, I thought about that video last night. I said, I know exactly how I'm going to do that. So what I did, I had the camera set up. I turned the camera on. So when you first saw the dogs go jetting by, right? When you first saw the dogs go jetting by, I just let them out. So they're amped up, ready to go. And then I did my little bit there, and as soon as I hit the ground, you saw what happened. They were there. So yeah, if you don't like listening to natural rodent disposal, then please move along. Exactly. Exactly. So it's part of life, the cycle of life. You know. So no, the dogs are awesome. A bunch of big babies. They're big. They're getting so big. Uh, Genghis is as tall as Hella now, and I think I told you guys we weighed Hella, and she was 95 pounds. Right, better than poison that can kill your dogs or kids. Exactly. Yep, lions eat meat daily in the wild. Yeah, what do you think wild cats do? Nobody's feeding them. So, which one of the puppies his puppies manhandle you the easiest? They really don't. They're really good. They're like I said, they're good dogs. They just want to play. So that whole thing there this morning was just that was a play fest. They were like, "Oh my God, Dad's on the ground." Let's. I mean, if I sit down, they're all on top of me. They just want to be around me. They want to be near me. So they're a lot of fun. Like I said, I really enjoy them. I've been very fortunate. They're all good natured dogs. They're protective. They're getting more protective. You know, and like I said, now they're getting some size to them. Kali seems so small, compared to the boys. And she was like I said, at 5 months, she was almost 50 pounds then. Do you think your big babies would protect you from a bear, coyotes, and such? Over time, yeah, I think they. I mean, like right now, they're still puppies, so they always refer to mom, which is Hella, obviously. So Hella calls the shots. We went. I'll give you an example. Okay, went for a walk. I think it was yesterday. So we go up the hill, get to the top of the hill, and what I do with the dogs when I'm taking them for a walk, um, I'll call them back to me, have them come back, let them know good babies, good puppies, whatever, and I'll do that several times while we're walking, so that they know when I call they need to come. Well, we get to the top of the hill, and I'm just starting down the hill, and all of a sudden, Hella takes off like a shot. I mean, a shot. And right on her heels, all four of those puppies are right, like in a line, right behind her. And I'm calling her, and she ain't listening. They're not listening. And what it was, she scared up some turkeys, and the turkeys went fly, heard whoop, and up into the tree the turkeys went, and then they all came back. So, but yeah, I knew she saw something, and when she's in that mindset, it's forget about it. She's not listening to anybody, and like I said, they follow her. Whatever she's going to do, they're going to go with her and do what she says in that. So I think that if there was something that was attacking, they would defer to her right now. I think that as the boys get bigger and stronger, they will instinctively, protect. So I would try to be protecting them. I would be shooting something that was coming. Yeah, if Hella takes a lead on an attack, the puppies would follow suit. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Hella's leader right now. I can see Genghis is looking like he's going to be the dominant male. I thought it was going to be Caesar for a while, but then Genghis got bigger, and he's kind of taken over that role. And I watch him. I watch how they interact and stuff. But yeah, so he's pretty much the dominant one right now. But they're fun, like I said. Yeah, and Hell is an alpha female all the way. So, like she'll correct Kali in a heartbeat, because Kali is just like a little missile. She really is. And she loves to jump, which drives me insane. I've been trying to break her of that. So my last Great Pyrenees dog took out two coyotes at once in our at a year old. It's instinctive. That they have all animals, especially dogs. I don't care if it's your little ankle biter dogs. They have a pack mentality. All right, there is one alpha, and they have one, like German shepherds, folks, have one master. That's it. They have one person they listen to. So if you have a household, generally, you know, they pick who their master's going to be. So like I've had German shepherds in the past, and I always used to joke around when we lived in Charlotte, New York. We had Freya was our shepherd, and then we had Odin was our Rottweiler. So we had a German Shepherd and a Rottweiler. And I always used to joke the order in the house was there was me, then there was Freya, and then there was Amy. Because that dog would not listen to her no matter what. No matter what, that dog would not listen to her. That dog would only listen to me. And she was an alpha female. I mean, ultra alpha female. And she tested me a couple times, and I had to square her away. But she, oh my God, what a loyal dog. She was a great dog. Unfortunately, I did have to put her down because she bit a neighbor. So not good. I generally don't get to watch your live stream while it's live. However, I do watch them all at some point. Well, thank you, Rodney. I appreciate that. Well, I'm glad you're able to be here for this live stream today. So we actually should probably get talking. Now we're going off the rails here. Let's talk about this bill that got passed. Do I think everything in the bill is great? I do not. But there are certain things, and I haven't gone over everything, folks. Okay, but the Democrats screaming that people are going to go hungry. Listen, I've seen some of those people that are on welfare and getting food stamps. It looks like a lot of them could go a long time without eating and they'll be just fine. And I'm joking saying that, so please don't attack me on that. But have you seen some of them? Seen them in the store, beginning of the month, with their shopping cart all full of crap? Yeah. Yep. So I think they just changed the thing down here where if you're getting food stamps, and I don't know if they've done it in other states or not, but you cannot buy pop and candy with it anymore. It has to be food, healthy food, not junk food. So I think that was a nice shift to see that they're no longer allowed to buy that. So, yeah, you mean shopping carts? Yeah, exactly, Robert. Exactly. Shopping carts full. So. And it's hard to get around a lot of food stamp people. Well, because they're eating so healthy. So, yeah, food stamps should be for staples only. I don't disagree with that. Milk, bread, cheese, meats, not crap. They should not be allowed to get crap with it. So, hey, Sharon, welcome. But anyway, so of course the Democrats are all losing their minds. All these people they're saying are going to lose their, like Social Security is going to get hurt. One of the things in the bill is that the people are not going to be taxed on their Social Security anymore, older people. And I think that's a good thing, right? Older people should not have to be getting taxed on their Social Security. Another thing that I like about the bill, no tax on tips. I saw that one. I think that's great. Up to $25,000. So, no tax on that, which I think is awesome. The other thing that I saw was no tax on overtime. So I think that's a good thing. Some people buy cases of pop with food stamps and sell them to get the cash. Oh yeah, son. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to 6K exemption till 2028 for seniors. Robert Blakemore saying, okay. Last time I remember filling a shopping cart was back in 1982. Yeah, it's a little bit expensive to fill up a shopping cart these days. is absolutely a little expensive. But yeah, comorbidities. Yeah, no kidding. But these things happen. But anyway, it's just like I said, I don't know everything that's in this bill. Like I said, you're talking about an 800-page bill. But the only thing that the Democrats have to go on constantly is fear. Try to scare people. Try to, oh my God, this is going to do this and this is going to do that. So, one of the things that they were complaining about that it adds over however many years, 4.1 trillion, they said, to the deficit. How much deficit did we add under Biden, guys? How much did the deficit go up under Biden? Remember when he passed his thing, right? His thing, or no, that was Obama that did that one. Okay, when Obama passed his big package because he had the House and the Senate and he was the president. When he passed his big thing, doing all the green energy, who remembers that? All these billions and billions of dollars going out to these companies for green energy. And what happened to a majority of those companies? Do you remember what happened? Within inside of 1 year, a majority of those companies that received billions of dollars for green energy went out of business. Isn't that interesting? Do you think that that's interesting? Is that some kind of fraudulent activity going on there? But that was okay, right? That was fine. But now, they all took the money, exactly. But now, yeah, Biden did the infrastructure bill. That's right. That was a lot of money too, right? But heaven forbid, Trump does anything and it's terrible. And back in '79, I built a new brick house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. I also bought 2 new cars on my own salary alone. Oh, I hear you, Tony. No, it's a different ball game now. Nowadays, especially if you got kids, you have to have 2 incomes coming in. There's not a choice. You have to have 2 incomes coming in. So hopefully, you have family members or grandparents around that can help with the kids. Hey, girlie. And there's our other little girl. There's our other little girl. She was very interested when Clyde got the with the mouse. Yep. So Bonnie was wanting to help out, and Clyde was like, "No, I got this." So, but yeah, be careful. Hey, no, get off of that. Sorry. But like I said again, it's a different time now. The whole thing when one of the things with the bill is no tax on overtime. Okay, I really like that one because I know my wife was a stay-at-home mom, and I did 66 hours a week, 6 days a week, and I did that for 10 years straight because I had a family to take care of, and everything every single year went up and up and up, and it just got to a point of being insane, and you can only push so long and so hard. So the fact that they're going to be taking away the tax on overtime, I think that that's great for the workers because it's another motivation to do overtime. Not that a lot of them want to do a 40-hour week anymore. The kittens I brought in are 4 weeks old. Yeah, these guys. Oh yeah, the Golden Dome bill's in there too. Well, there's a huge one of the big things on the big beautiful bill also is border security, which I'm absolutely all for. So more money going to protect the border. So working too much takes a big toll on a marriage. Absolutely. Because the one parent is getting a lot of the responsibility of the kids while the other parent is gone all the time. So my stepdaughters put themselves through college before having children. They both make 6-digit incomes in addition to their husband's pay. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. 40,000 ICE agents hired. Yeah, like I said, Larry, good. That's what I say. Good. You know, it takes money to clear up. You know, the amount of money we'll save as a country not taking care of people that don't belong here in the first place, that did it the wrong way. Um, you know, you got to get them out of here. They're a drain on the system like no other. After growing season up here in Michigan, some corporations are going to turn 1,000 acres of farmland into solar panels. Oh wow! Yeah, well, I don't like seeing that necessarily. The farmland being used for that, but I mean, I get it. I understand it. But net zero equals fuel allowance, alcohol restrictions, uh, about what books are allowed, social credit scores, bad behavior will be penalized, yet most will take the CBDCs regardless. Oh, I hear you, full of hope. I hear you. Yeah, the whole, at the end of the day, a lot of it, honestly, is about control. They really truly do want to control us in every way possible. I'm putting my slipper back on if you're wondering. I felt something in my slipper, so I had to take it off. But anyway, you know, it's about control at the end of the day. What do we got? 259 in the chat, guys. We got 102 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that ahead of time. Really does make a big difference on algorithms. And also, I do appreciate that overall. Like I said, and again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Fireworks just starting. Poor puppy is going mad. Yeah, I don't, I'm going to tell you a true story. You're going to like this one too, okay? Now, Ed, does the new bill affect home health workers? Is that budget cut? I don't think so, Sharon. You know, I don't think so. So I lived in the city of Rochester. Okay, I was with my first wife at the time. In the city, you got neighbors all over the place. Okay, all over the place. And so it was 4th of July, and I had lady fingers, right? So I was, lighting up a pack of lady fingers, and I threw them off the porch, front porch, and pop, 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 pop. Everybody was blowing off fireworks. It wasn't like, and this, of course, it was illegal to have fireworks, but yet everybody had fireworks and everybody was blowing off fireworks. So my neighbor across the street, and this is just an example, guys. My neighbor across the street writes me a letter. Now I had dogs. My dogs were in the house. They were chilling out. Um, instead of coming over, I mean, literally, my house was here. There's the road, and her house was right there on the other side of the street. I mean, there was no front yards. We didn't really have a front yard. It was just we had a little side yard here, and we had a little backyard. That's what we had. So, so she writes me a letter, and she was like, complaining that me individually was blowing off fireworks, and that her dogs were very upset to the point that they were dangerous. And I almost wrote her a letter back. I let it go. But I almost wrote her a letter back and said, well, if your dogs are to the point of being dangerous like that, maybe you should put them down. But I'm like, my wife at the time was like, now just leave it alone. And I'm like, what an idiot. First of all, you can't come across the street, knock on my door, and if you have a problem with something that I've done, just talk to me, right? I mean, how hard is that? But you got to write a letter? I was just like, whatever. So after I read the letter, all right, I had lady fingers left over. I don't know how that happens. I think she got her answer. Uh, yeah, people are interesting. And that's why, honestly, guys. I mean, I've lived in the cities. Yeah, they don't know you're a big teddy bear. Yeah, right, right. I've lived in the cities. I've lived in suburbia. I've lived in the countries. In the country. Where I'm at now is perfect. Where I was up in New York was okay as well. Uh, you know, peace of mind. There's nothing like peace of mind. Quiet, not dealing with neighbors. Everybody's butt hurt about something. I just want my peace. Just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. So this day and age, you go knocking on someone's door. It's not wise. I get that. I get that. But I've always felt. I mean, I've had people say to me, "Well, you're intimidating." But I've always thought that I was very approachable. I try to be nice to everybody. I try until they prove to me that I shouldn't be nice to them. But the worst big city I ever lived in was Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So I lived in the city of Rochester, different times when I was younger, different parts of the city, some nicer, some not so nice. Uh, I was over visiting a friend one time, and I was still living in the country at that point, but I'd gone into the city to his house. We were hanging out, having a couple beers, whatnot, and stuff like that. And so I'm on a street, and if anybody knows the Rochester area, I was on Bay Avenue. Okay, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So two lanes of traffic. Car in front of me. There's a car over in this lane. I pull up behind the car here. This other car comes up in this lane and taps the car in front of them because they knew each other, right? Did it on purpose. Then the one guy gets out of the car. Well, the bunch of them got out and they're all running their mouths, and I'm just watching a light. I'm like, minding my own business. Bunch of black dudes, okay, just for reference. And the one black dude goes, "Watch this," and I heard him say it. So he walks in front of my car, smacks the hood of my car, and he's going, "Yo, man, you see this N hit my car? This N hit my car. Did you see that?" And I'm just watching that light, and that light went green, and the car in front of me went. And only thing I said was, "Get out of my way." And the guy went, "Man, it's cool. It's cool." He got out of the way, and I went. I'm like, "I will run you down in a heartbeat." Oh, my tan. It's just from being outside, guys. I don't lay out in the sun at all. If I'm out there and I get in the sun and, if I'm outside and I'm walking around or doing anything, 9 times out of 10, I don't have a shirt on. I had a shirt on off all day. And for this live stream and the last live stream, it's the only time I put a shirt on. And as soon as that other live stream was over, I took it off. And as soon as this live stream was over, I'm taking this one off. So, but the worst city I lived in was Toronto in Ontario, Canada. Now, see, I've been to Toronto several times, Marshmallow Man. I never had an issue in Toronto. Not an issue ever. Oh yeah, Chicago where they had that shooting. See, that's insane. That is insane. So, but yeah, it's just it is so sad that you can't even go out and enjoy yourself without fear of something like that happening. That's sad. That is very sad. Unfortunately, it happens quite a bit. Okay. Um, it happens quite a bit. Depends on where you are, but like I said, God, I lived so many places in Rochester. One of the places I lived was Monroe Avenue, and like I said, I've had some people say that I'm intimidating. Okay, um, I just don't take no crap. And that's the thing. Like somebody said to me one time, like being in the city and dealing with different stuff, they're like, "Aren't you afraid?" And I go, "No, because they can only kill me one time." And I said, "If they kill me, then I don't have to pay taxes or go to work anymore." I mean, that's kind of flawed logic, but I was not going to spend my life or any time walking around scared. Wasn't going to do it. Now, I've been in a couple situations where it was an uncomfortable situation. I'm not going to lie. But, again, if you carry yourself in a certain way, people don't screw with you. If you show fear, they will eat you alive. They will eat you alive. But I kind of had a reputation of being a crazy white boy, so they generally didn't mess with me. But yeah, if you show fear, they got you beat. Exactly. And like I said, and it's like I was never trying to ever intimidate anybody. Okay, it's always about respect for me. I'm going to treat them respectfully, and they better darn well sure treat me respectfully. So always have hardware with you. Yeah, right. Well, that depends on where you are. I'll tell you another true story that happened. Okay, a buddy of mine, not a real big guy, smaller guy, uh, but he always had a pistol on him because he had his pistol permit. He was walking down Monroe Avenue one day because he lived on Monroe Avenue, a different part, and he two black guys came up to him, pulled knives, and said, "Give me your money." And he went, "Okay, all right." He reached into his coat, he pulled his gun out, never pointed it at him. All right, and I'm going to tell you the difference between him and me. Okay, never pointed it at him and said, "Now, what did you say?" And they go, "Oh man, we got no problem with you," and they took off. If they did that to me, I'm pulling out that gun and I'm shooting them both dead on the spot. That's me. That's the difference between him and me. He was just trying to decelerate the situation because my thing is this: if you would pull a knife on me and try to rob me at knife point, you might do that to somebody else that does not know how to defend themselves or take care of themselves, and they might get hurt. You ain't doing that to me. So, and if you are in the act of a felony, I have every legal right to put you in the ground. And that's exactly what I would have done without even a hesitation. And you may think, I used to deliver pizza in a big part of town, and the people got in front of my car and would not let me get away as soon as I did rev up the engine. And then I neutral moved back really. Oh, then they naturally drop back real quick. Oh yeah. And since developing high blood pressure and cataracts, I lost all my lifetime friends. Strange how people don't know you when you get sick and older. Yeah, that's too bad, Tony. That is too bad. There's a lot. I'm going to tell you what. I mean, I talk a lot about the younger generation and how messed up a lot of them are. But there's a lot of the younger generation guys that are out there that are hardworking kids. They've got their nose to the grindstone. They know what they want. They know what they want to do. And I try to give advice. That's what I try to do. I just try to give advice, try to help people out if I can. Now, if they're not worth the waste of my time, I'm not going to waste my time. Okay, but hopefully, a lot of times, they'll listen to somebody older that's been through things, and you know, so. All right, so we're almost at that time. So before we do this, let's do this one more time. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, we got 249 in the chat. We got 139 thumbs up. I'm going to ask you to please shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel. I would thank you ahead of time for doing so. It really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time for all that. Okay. So that being said, How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Betty White. So, and DJ's got that thing, man. He hits that thing as soon as I say go. That is too funny. I used to drive a taxi cab also. One person tried to rob me, and he did not like the ride of his life. Oh, I want to read the rest of that. Not ride of his life and gave up to the police when I didn't stop. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. You got to be careful, though. This day and age, people are going to shoot you first and ask questions later. That's the problem. That is the problem. All right, guys. Give you a minute here to get more guesses in, and then I will tell you what is up. Yeah, cataracts can be fixed. Absolutely, cataracts can be fixed. I'm going to tell you something too in a second. Okay. But anyhow, if you had the same exact guess as guess who, DJ, with 3 eggs today, I've been telling you it's been 3 eggs, and yes for Miss Betty White. It seems like every day this week, 3 eggs and yes for Miss Betty White. It's crazy. I even went out and checked again in my last live stream because I got the eggs earlier, and I came back and there they were. So, but congratulations to DJ on your back-to-back win and an umpteenth number of wins. So who knows how many? But yeah. So here's what me and Steve were having a conversation. We're talking a little bit earlier today, and I said to him, I've come to a realization of something, and he was like, okay, what's that? I said, dude, we're dinosaurs. He goes, what do you mean? I said, this whole generation now, they think so differently. Like I said, the whole offended by everything, the whole feelings police and all that nonsense that goes on. I said, they can't handle people like us that are frank, that say it like it is. It makes them very uncomfortable. And I said, we're dinosaurs. We're a dying breed because this new generation, they're in trouble. They're in trouble, folks. So I'll tell you what, I feel very fortunate that Heather is the way that she is. She's squared away. She's a hard worker. She definitely takes after her dad. She didn't take after her mom, but that's okay. But Eddie did. So there we go. One took after me. One took after their mother. But anyway, she's a very squared away young lady. And I always said, I told people, I said, Heather is a carbon copy of me, except one thing. She's more politically correct, and I never will be. I never will. I'm not going to conform. I'm too old to conform. I still have my State Patrol ID from 1998. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But yeah, they were doing a thing talking about Gen X, because I'm a Gen Xer, right? And they were talking about how we grew up and how we were the last tough generation. And it was like all these different things that they were saying that we did, that we grew up, that was, like drinking out of a hose, right? It was middle of summer, literally when we were kids, sun's up, you're gone. You're gone. Your parents have no idea where you are. None whatsoever. There was no cell phones, no pagers, none of that stuff. Okay? None of that. And I'm a first-year Gen X. I'm 1965, so I'm the first-year Gen X. We would be gone all day, and our parents would have no idea where we were or what we were getting into or what we were up to. And it wasn't always good, but we played outside. We were told you come home when it gets dark. You maybe pop home for a sandwich for lunch, or you were at one of your friends' houses and you were there and their mom fed you whatever. You know what I mean? That's how it was. Back then. It was so different. And I'll tell you what, my kids, I kept a close leash on them. I protected them. So Boomer here, except for the video games, we did the same as Gen X. Yeah, the Gen X is the whole video game thing. I really never. I mean, I played a little bit as a kid, and then everybody got into all this other stuff. And I just never really did. It was never. I used to like to play Risk online. We had the Risk game that we could put in. And there was like four of us would sit there and play Risk for hours. That was fun. But jumping off bikes on ramps. Oh my God, with no helmets, of course. If I ride a bicycle today, folks, I'll tell you right now, I won't wear a helmet. You would not see a helmet on me. Not going to happen. So it's like those type of things. There was so much. I got my working papers at 14. I was baling hay. Sitting on the guy who was driving the tractor, and me and my cousin would be in the back and in the wagon. And when and this is the days, folks, not like that. Now you see the big rounds. They do like the 2,000-pound rounds that you have to bring the tractor in and pick it up. These were back when you had 80-pound hay bales, 80-pound hay bales, and they would shoot up, and you'd have you'd hold on to the hook with your hand, and the hook would come up, and you'd reach up and you'd grab it and you'd bring it down, and then you'd hand it up to the guy, and he'd grab it with his two hooks, and he was stacking it as it was coming. So Okie Ford said, I never wore a motorcycle helmet unless it was required by law. Oh, I'm the same way on that, Okie. New York had a helmet law. West Virginia has a helmet law. Pennsylvania doesn't. I know, like South Dakota, when I went out there, they didn't. Yeah, cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, all that type of stuff. So, but like I said, just things. Things are different. They're just different, and it's kind of, in some ways, it's neat to watch the way things are now. In other ways, it's not. Yeah, I wear a half helmet. I wear the skull cap. I'll show you mine. So there you go. And that's what I have on the front. And then I got a bunch of stuff on the sides. So, and then on the back, my thoughts on Kanye West. So, yeah, that's my helmet. That's what I wear when I ride. And yes, one of the things that I have on there says speak English or get out. So, there we go. But my mom kicked us out so she could watch soap operas, Young and the Restless. Oh my God, that's so funny. Can you read them to us? Okay, hold on. All right, the one on the front, it says, wanted, meaningful overnight relationship. I just thought that was funny, so that's why I got that one, and that one's right there in the front. This one says, come with respect or get wrecked. This one here says, I'm the person my parents warned me about. That's true. It says, you were good, but your mother was better. On the back, one good fist is worth 1,000 words. And then I think you guys can read that one. Kanye West. On this side, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American. There's a difference. Okay. I absolutely feel that way. Divorce, the screwing you get for the screwing you got. Keep an open mind and question everything. Do I not talk about that a lot, right? And then speak English or get the hell out. So those are the stickers I have on my helmet. I think Kanye West is a nut job. So there we go. So yeah, that's what I have on when I ride. How can cars see the words are real small? Well, they really can't probably. But yeah, so that's. I've never worn a full face shield. I made Heather wear a full face shield when we would ride. Um, when I always made her do that because if we went down, I wanted to make sure she was protected. And have you seen the new Will Smith music video? I have not, Tony. No, I have not. Yeah, Kanye is a cuckoo. Yes, he is. Loco. Definitely not playing with a full deck. Very talented guy. I mean, I'll give him that. I'm not saying he's not. But unfortunately, some of these people, they're put on such a high pedestal, it goes to their head. Really does. So, that's, I don't know. I just rather be real. You know, do those box fans blow cool air or just blow warm air? It actually just feels good. So that's why I have it right behind me. So, yeah, there's a thin line between genius and insanity. No kidding. Yeah, that flooding in Texas, I saw that. They said that they got a month's worth of rain in just a couple hours, 4 to 6 inches in some spots. Other places got like 10 inches of rain in just a few hours. So, but yeah, like I wear my vest. Actually, I can show you my vest real quick too. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, then you're right in the way. I didn't mean to step on you. I don't have anything on my leather, but on my vest, got the American flag, and then I have Sturgis, South Dakota, 2021. I got that patch on that side, and then on this side, I rode mine Sturgis 21 because we rode it. We didn't trailer the bike there. We rode them. 16 and 20 girls from a summer camp missing. Wow, that's not good. And then this one is Devil's Tower Run, Sturgis 2021, because I went to Devil's Tower, ran out there. So I wear this a lot. If the weather's nice, that's what I wear. So I always wear boots. Um, what is your opinion of Jelly Roll? If you want me, I think Jelly Roll's okay. I think he's got a good voice. I'm actually happy to see that he lost some weight because and I've said it a million times. How many 600-pound 60-year-olds do you know? You don't know any. You know why? Because they're all dead. They're all dead. There was somebody had done a thing, and they were showing these influencers, right? Heavy influencers, and they were like, talking about fat phobia and all this type of stuff. And the person was like, "Here's this one, they're dead. Here's that one, they're dead. Here's this one," and they were all young. Your body is not designed to carry that kind of weight. It's just not. I'm going to tell you what. I'm probably about 45 pounds overweight. Okay, and that's being realistic. I'm 225. I should probably be about 180 to 185. That would be a really good weight for me. All right. So I couldn't imagine, and I know how that makes me feel. Okay. I couldn't imagine being 100, 150, 200 pounds overweight. Um, I mean, it's just not good, you know. And I'm not judging anybody. I mean, we all go through our own journey and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, if you want to have a long life and be around, you can't carry that kind of weight. So, Stealth Mode said 190 here should be in the 170s. It's hard to keep the weight up. It is. I mean, I like to eat. I mean, and I like my sweets. That's my problem. And I know it, So if I decide to do something about it, I will. That's kind of where I'm at. Well, anyway, guys, we are at that time. Um, I appreciate you guys. Please have a safe 4th of July. Don't drink and drive, okay? We have a 539-pound, 70-year-old that coded today. They were going to try to wedge him into a CT scanner after I left. Oh, my God. He was 70 and that big? Wow, I'm surprised. Really surprised. Yeah, Robert lost. Hey, Robert's one of the guys in the group, and you guys have said he's lost weight. He's at 162, down from 200. He says he feels a lot better, and you do. You feel better. So, but anyway, guys, don't drink and drive. Be careful out there. If you're out there, cops are going to be out all over the place. Ain't worth the risk. It's not. Okay. Get a DD, a designated driver, or call an Uber or whatever you need to do, but don't be drinking and driving. Be safe, be careful, and I hope you have a great day and have a good weekend. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Prep Nurse 1, out for now.